I saw this image on Twitter and I thought to myself, this can't be a real frame from the TV show. No, but for some reason it is. Going into this, I was cautious but excited to hear that aliens were going to be coming to Earth. Now, we did technically have this in AVP Requiem, but that movie, to put it lightly, sucks ass. This show, much like Alien Romulus, has fantastic set design. Everything looks great. The practical effects look great. The CGI at times is a bit dodgy, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not terrible. It is a TV show. To give a bit of a backstory here, basically a trillionaire, some tech trillionaire, was able to create eternal life to some extent through a cyborg AI hybrid that can take the soul of an actual person, keep all their memories, personality, etc. They aren't truly human, but are perfect replicas. Now, these are completely different from the synthetics and cyborgs we have seen previously in this franchise. Now, I don't know why the writers decided to take this approach, but the trillionaire, in order to test his product, essentially, saves a bunch of kids with life-ending illnesses and puts their conscious into these adult AI human hybrid cyborg bodies. I don't know what you want to call them. And as soon as that happened, I was already like, okay, what are we doing here? We have adults walking around acting as children now throughout what is going to be, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 episodes. And while it is a different take and it builds up a different backstory and the world building around it is all different, they're essentially just trying to do the exact same thing that Romulus tried to do. Romulus and this show were both trying to find a new face for their franchise. They want Ripley 2.0. They really do. So once again, we have a brunette, not exactly like Ripley, but pretty close to some extent, and the show is going to be pushing her as the main character. They tried to take a unique approach while capturing what the old films did, and I just don't think it worked. I don't really like the whole kids being transferred into adult bodies. And then later in episode 2, we find out that the tech trillionaire who is running this program and has saved these kids, he's not doing it to like mass produce it for materialistic reasons to make money or whatever. He's doing it in hopes that one day one of them would become so unique and different that they would have a mind-blowing conversation with him. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, we're 2 episodes in, this guy literally has no motive at all. A ship has crashed into one of his buildings, and he has sent these advanced super AI human children to go, I don't know, help rescue people. These 2 episodes jump back and forth between the, I'm just going to call them human hybrids, and the actual human search and rescue teams that are going through the building and the wreckage of the ship that crashes into Earth. And by the end of episode 2, everything kind of comes together as one. The beginning of episode 1 is essentially just the first Alien movie with a different cast and a different outcome to the scenario. Almost one for one. Every single room looks just like the original. There's definitely a lot of good ideas there. I just don't think a lot of it is executed well. I like the idea of having new alien life forms, which we see quite a few of actually. The xenomorph itself feels incredibly dangerous to the point where in some parts almost completely overpowered. And don't get me wrong, I know the xenomorphs are very, very dangerous. You don't have to lecture that to me. But in this show, it definitely feels like they turned them up a couple notches here. The characters themselves are pretty forgettable, but there is that one moment where Sid from Ice Age fades onto the screen, and that is because her brother grew up watching the movie. At least that's what I gathered from the show itself. And there's this deep connection with Sid from Ice Age, and that's why you get the fade in there. When that moment happened, I was very close to turning it off. The show is not good. It's very rough. It has good moments, But if there was no xenomorph or face huggers or anything that related to the actual Alien franchise, it could just be any sci-fi horror TV show. And with the campy, cheesy moments littered throughout it, it's not helping its case. And from the second episode going forward, main character and her brother meet up for the first time in years. The xenomorph comes out of nowhere, grabs her brother, and runs off through the wreckage, and now she goes off chasing after it to find her brother again. I will watch episode 3 just because I'm curious to see where it goes, but it is definitely not good. Just to give you an example, this is another scene in the show.
My men are on site now, securing the crash.
Is there anything we need to know about the ship?
Maybe it will get better, but I highly doubt it.